Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, species around the multiverse, welcome to episode 323 of Geek Syndicate, and we're doing what we always do, which is bringing the sass back to geekdom. I am Monts, and...
Evening, I am Neej.
Really expected you to say evening, governor, then. So those of you that are just listening, you can't see that Barry just he's got his flat cap on, and as he said evening, he kind of tipped to the edge of it like a old school Londoner. Go, evening, gov.
Yeah, I just realised that we're recording on Zoom, and this is actually going to be going out as a podcast again.
You just throw. Barry's got that look in his face like, oh, okay. I love that.
You wouldn't think I've been doing this podcasting for 14 years, would you?
No, not at all. Yeah, so go on. So you've just realised what? You've got a flat cap on.
Yeah, because we're doing Zoom and not doing it over Skype, which I still have to get used to.
So you say you dress for the podcast? Is that what you're saying?
No.
What?
No. To be fair, I did get the hat because I kind of wanted to see how my hat looked on Zoom. I could have just looked in the mirror. It seemed an easier choice, though.
I can't even with you. I haven't forgotten that you got a Stormtrooper onesie or whatever it was you said and tried to pass it off as cosplay.
It is cosplay. What are you talking about?
Ah, whatever. So,
nonsense.
Where we at? Got any shout-outs?
I'd like to give a shout-out to Jimmy Aquino of Comic News Insider, to say happy episode 1100.
Was it 1100? I think
1100, so. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's been podcasting so basically he's our New York counterpart, and he's been podcasting for 15 years now, 1 year longer than us.
Yeah. And we've put out 300 and odd episodes.
To be fair,
we've put out more than that.
We've got a ton of bonus episodes, and we changed our name for a while, and so on. So,
rebranding and such. So I wanted to give a quick shout out to Jimmy, even though I'm not going to talk about this in week that was, but a couple of episodes back, he was in the Zoom audience, and he recommended Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, I think it's called.
Is that a kids?
Yes,
a Jurassic Park kids spin-off.
Yes, it's a kids spin-off, and I was a little bit because I watched the trailer for it, and I was like, I don't know about this, and I don't like the CG's a bit basic and blah blah blah. But Jimmy said, no, you need to check it out because actually it's a lot more. But put too fine a point, people die, and I was quite surprised. Do you know what I mean?
Because when you've got the dinosaurs running around.
No. But when you watch a trailer once, right, this looks like it's firmly aimed at kids, like a kid show, right? And I'm watching it, and I'm thinking, it's all right, it's quite good fun. And then something happens. I won't say what it does, and I'm thinking, he'll be all right. Nope, he's dead. Nope, definitely dead.
Okay. Do you know what? Just talk about cartoons aimed firmly at kids. So when my daughter was 3, do you remember Ulysses 31, a cartoon called Ulysses 31?
Of course. What kind of stupid nonsense is that? Of course I remember.
So for those who don't know, it was a cartoon. Pete. Which was a 31st century version of the Ulysses classic Greek tale. And I just remember that from my youth. So I found the box set. And I said, I'm going to show my daughter. I don't know why I thought it was going to be okay for my 3-year-old daughter, classic Greek tale. And it was dark, man. It was so dark. And it was just one bit where my poor 3-year-old goes, Daddy, why is the man crying? I'm like, because the woman died, sweetheart. Why did she die? Because the gods are capricious, child. Because the gods are capricious.
I can't believe you put that on for your kid. Because I remember, we used to watch Ulysses from school days, and that show was dark. Because I remember there was the episodes. Because I'm trying to remember all that. When you watch the opening credits, it's all very cheery, and the little robot and all that.
No one else can do the things you do.
Yeah. And I remember his shipmates all got frozen by the gods, didn't they?
Gods were bastards.
They all got frozen by the gods, right? And I remember an episode where he did something which released the crew.
Yeah.
Because one of them was the little girl's brother.
Yeah, but what was
right? No. And they released the crew, and it was like, oh, it's so great to see you. And they had the whole episode, and then the gods rocked up at them and was like, yeah, fuck you, and put them all back to sleep. And I remember having to say goodbye to her brother because he went back to sleep.
Just crying.
And then I had to watch John Craver's news. Yeah, it's horrible. And then I had to watch John Craver's news round at 5 o'clock after that. It's just harsh, man.
It was harsh.
Show.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, what's it called? Jurassic Park Cretaceous?
Camp Cretaceous.
Camp Cretaceous. I'll add it to my list, but not to watch with my younger children. All right, then. It's time for the news.
Yeah, I've got some news.
Go on, then, because I haven't.
I know you haven't. That's why I said I've got some news.
Yeah, all right.
So, first bit of news is... So, this is about Spider-Man. Have you heard this?
I have not.
I don't know if it's confirmed. So it's probably, at the moment, it's a bit of a rumor. So for Spider-Man 3, so the first confirmed thing about Spider-Man 3 was the fact is Doc Strange is going to be in it.
Okay.
But he's going to be like Peter's new mentor because obviously.
So is he taking the Iron Man role in the MCU?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they were kind of rocking the same vibe.
Yeah, I don't know if he needs to have a mentor. That's just my take. There we go. So that's the sort of confirmed bit, and I think he's gonna film his scenes before he does the actual Doctor Strange film, which is a bit annoying. I'd rather him do Doctor Strange first.
Okay.
But that's not the bit of news. So the rumor is that they're looking to get Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Both of them?
Yeah. As a bit of a kind of Into the Spider-Verse type vibe.
What? Hey? Will there be tap dancing? Well, do you fancy this, Barry?
No. No. I'm not that fussed, to be honest, either way, because I'm kind of a bit... I'll probably get lynched by Spider-Man fans, but like, this is how many films has Spider-Man had now? He's had about 500, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? So I'm not really that bothered. And so in my family, the big Spider-Man fan in my family was my older brother Danny, because he was like the Marvel guy and whatever. And I remember him saying he got really irate about this. We were talking about Spider-Man, and he was like, "I can't stand it." He said, "It was a new one. It was a new one." And I was like, "Oh, you mean Tom Holland?" No, the other dude, the one with the quiff. That's what he kept saying. The one with the quiff, the one with the hairstyle. And I was like,
"Not Nicholas Lyndhurst."
No, I was like, Andrew Garfield. Yeah, that's the one. He goes, "I can't stand him. Worst Spider-Man ever." And I was like, "Oh, D, why was that then?" He said, "Because he said he was too cool." That was his criticism. He said, he's too cool. He said Spider-Man shouldn't be cool. Peter Parker shouldn't be cool. He said he looked like the guy who would be bullying Peter Parker. And when I went back and watched the Spider-Man films with Andrew Garfield, I was like, yeah, do you know what?
I haven't seen any Andrew Garfield Spider-Man films.
Haven't you?
No. I'm not even bothered.
I wouldn't
I think at the point they came out, I was like, haven't we done Spider-Man's origin to death already?
Yeah, I know.
I've got some news.
Go on
then. Star Trek.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if anyone has been watching Star Trek Lower Decks. I know Mark has, and he loves it. His kids love it. I've watched one episode and I found it a bit, no offence, a bit American. But then it is American. But only in that. American cartoons tend to have lots of people being really shouty. And I had to get past that. And I thought, actually, I didn't mind it at all. But I was kind of like, why is everyone shouting all the time? But I didn't know that there's another upcoming animated show called Star Trek Prodigy. But the reason I mention that is that in the rumour mill, CBS are reportedly planning to bring back Cisco.
Oh, really?
With the original actor. And what they said, whether he's going to get his own spin-off or he's going to feature in Star Trek Prodigy, we don't know yet. But Avery Brooks could be the next Starfleet legend to come out of retirement.
What, to do the voices?
Yeah. Or to get his own spin-off completely. So, Your face.
This is my shock. This is my shocked face.
So for those who can't see, Barry's mouth has just dropped open.
So, okay, that's cool. That is cool. My next bit of news is, so obviously with this year, it's been a bit of a shit show in terms of COVID. Do you know what? You name it, we've had it this year. Short of an asteroid strike, but I don't want to.
Why would you jinx it?
I don't know. I don't know. Why not? Do you know what I mean? We've had everything else. Why not an asteroid strike? So next month, everyone would have been getting ready to go to Thought Bubble.
Yeah.
That's a no. So Thought Bubble is it's a massive comic convention here in the UK. It's
one of my favourites.
It's kind of the comic convention, really, isn't it? Certainly for indie comics, and it was always like the perfect way to finish off the comic convention year, or just a geek convention year in the UK. It was up in Leeds. Always got too drunk. Usually ended up dancing. Usually with Phil, and it was just great. But obviously this year, it's not been cancelled, but it's been switched to like a virtual comic convention, which is going to take place on the 9th to the 15th of November. Now, one of the things they're doing is called Thought Bubble Fringe. So basically what it is Thought Bubble Fringe is a week-long online collection of fringe events celebrating all things comics. And whether you're a past or present exhibitor, an attendee or a distant admirer, or just a hardcore comics fan, we want you to take part. So basically what they're saying is, and anyone can do this, is you can put together your own panel, put together your own workshop, your own masterclass, or anything sort of comic related. You can use your whatever platform you want, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, etc. And this will run between 9th and the 15th of November. There are some guidelines, which I'll put a link to all of this in the show notes.
I was wondering if I could do a panel about me.
Why you got to do that?
Why are you surprised?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm being all deep, trying to bring a bit of hope back, trying to bring a bit of light back to the universe. You got to just come in with your size 10s.
12.
Your size 12s. F you, man.
I am light and life. Sorry,
can I
finish now? Finish what you were saying.
Can I finish now?
Yeah, go on.
So there'll be a link in the show notes. The downside is you've got to put your plans in before October the 18th.
Damn it, you need a plan.
Yeah, yes, you actually need a plan. You can't just do... We should just do a panel, man.
We should
just do a panel.
Okay,
I don't know what on. Watching paint dry or something. I don't know.
No, I'm going to be in Poland.
Okay. You do know we're not in the same location at the moment, don't you?
That's a very good point. Well, mate.
You know there is a little thing called Zoom, where if you're in another location, you could use Zoom. Because I'm pretty sure Mark, Pete, and Phil aren't in my kitchen.
No.
And if they are, could you get out and stop eating my Jaffa cakes? So...
Anyway, enough news. I think it's time for the week that was.
Blimey, that was almost in sync.
I know. Who'd have thought?
No flies on us, man. Jeez.
Yeah. So it's taken us since 1980 to get that.
All right, man.
Right. I just want to say, so this is going to be a quick one because it's something you mentioned last week, but I watched it this week, which was Enola Holmes on Netflix.
Oh, you finally watched it?
Yeah. Oh. That was lovely.
Oh, okay. I was ready.
No, that was absolute. What's her name? Stranger Things. Bobby. She played Enola Holmes, and she played 13 in Stranger Things.
Is it Millie
Bobby Brown or Bobby Brown?
So...
Millie Bobby Brown.
It is Millie Bobby Brown.
She was fantastic.
She's good, isn't she?
She's so good. And I know some of the purists go, well, that's not my Sherlock. Well, do you know what? people do reimaginings all the time, and it wasn't that much of a reimagining. It was fine. It was well produced. It was well shot. It was kind of warming. It was heartwarming.
Yeah.
In many ways, and her little cutaways to the camera were fantastic. I really I'm like, I literally finished it and went, when's episode 2? Oh no, it's a movie.
Yeah.
I wanted more. I wanted more.
Yeah. And even the because sometimes when you have fight scenes and you've got like a younger person fighting an older person, you kind of think, yeah, really. But the way they did her fight scenes worked really well. And she was getting a proper kick in as well, and just getting up. It wasn't, they weren't like little twee fights. They were like proper scrappy fights. So no, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was cracking. But the biggest mystery of Enola Holmes is where they found suits to fit Henry Cavill.
I don't know.
Because that dude looked. I mean, he just looked beefy. He
can't help it.
No, I personally, I'd like to see him I'd like to see him do a Sherlock Holmes film. That's just me. I liked him in it.
We watched that, and Siobhan said, she said, I'd much prefer to see him as Bond than Tom Hardy.
Is that still a thing that it's Tom Hardy?
I don't know. It was rumored it was between Henry Cavill and Tom Hardy, but I've heard nothing more since.
Yeah, I'm not. To be honest, we probably won't even get a Bond film for about 5 years.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for the last one to come out, aren't we? Although this was a bit of this is going back to news. But have you heard this thing about Disney where they're sort of saying that they're focusing
their focus is now online streaming rather than they're done with theatres.
So
wow, that's huge. I mean, the first question I thought, what is that going to push my premium up? Is that going to push my monthly subscription up? It's like, because I'm subscribed to too many services as it is.
I wonder because I wonder how well Mulan did.
That's a good question.
And I'm wondering if that's influenced some of their
I really want to
decisions.
see it, but I was like, do you know what? I'm already paying my subscription fee. I'll wait till it comes. I'll wait till. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll wait until it comes down.
My thing was with it, because I know a lot of people kicked off about it.
I did pay for a Trolls World Tour, so.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were kicking off saying, well, I'm already paying for streaming. I don't have to be paying, But I didn't really have a problem with it. I just made the decision that I'm not gonna do that. But if they dropped Black Widow or Wonder Woman on there and they're like, you've got to pay 20 boys for it, then I'd be more inclined to go, it just depends. It's just going to depend on the film. But I wonder if that's going to open the floodgates for them. I wonder if what they're saying is this is a way to kind of recoup some money on the Black Widow and Wonder Woman because, we don't know when it's going to come out. So much stuff has been pushed back, and now you've got cinemas over here have closed, haven't they?
Yeah. So Mark says Mulan earned 57 million worldwide in theatres, which under normal circumstances wouldn't be anything. Considering American historical Disney Plus getting it at home, that changes the equation. So they've got to make it back somehow, haven't they?
Yeah. I'll be interested to see what happens. Like I said, they've got 2 big films sitting there. I'll be interested to see what happens with those. Whether or not they'll leave it and wait until next year.
Everything's changing. Everything's changing shape. It's going to be interesting to see where we are in a couple of years' time. So, what else week that was? What have you got?
It was. So I watched a Netflix film.
Didn't everybody?
Yeah. What else is there to do? Vampires versus the Bronx.
In my head, that was the US version of
Attack the Block.
Attack the Block. Which, for anyone who doesn't know, was aliens hitting an estate in southeast London.
Yeah.
So,
So just to, so basically it's 3 kids. Was it 4 kids? I can't remember now. And it's kind of about gentrification, really. But you throw in vampires instead of white people. But,
sorry, I just didn't.
But to be honest, in the film, the vampires are white. So hey, potato, and basically these kids got to band together and stop them. And you know what? I enjoyed it. it was a quick romp.
Quick run.
It had so much. My problem is it had so much potential. It had so much potential, and I don't know if it would have worked better if it had been a series. I don't know if it would have worked better if they'd taken a few more chances. I don't know. I don't know where it didn't work. But like when I first watched Attack the Block, it just nailed it straight out of the gate. It just nailed it. And I think because I was going in kind of expecting that kind of level, I think I set my sights quite high for it. And the trailer's when you watch the trailer as well, you kind of think, yeah, this is what it's going to be. And it actually felt like it was probably a lower budget than I thought it would have been.
Okay. Well, it's been getting a lot of play.
I've not read any reviews. I don't know anyone else that's seen it, so I don't know what anyone else thought of it. But like I said, it was enjoyable. But it didn't, within.
Don't make me sound like I'm missing anything.
If you get a chance to get around to it, but I'm not like, you've got to go and watch it once, you'll love it. It was all right. There's a couple of one-liners in there, don't get me wrong, but there's a couple of zingers, but yeah.
Well, I'm going to be sitting in a hotel room by myself on Sunday night, so I might... No, I won't, because I've got so much else to watch. And so, I don't even know what this is. It's on my desk, and I don't... Yeah, so... I watched something, and I was in two minds about watching this because I was like, I'm a bit tired of the narrative of sort of black people being picked on and blah 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 blah. And it was Lovecraft Country, and it's like basically it's a road trip with three people going through Southern America and dealing with racism and sort of Lovecraftian monsters. And I was like, I don't know if I want to watch another series about people dealing with racism. But I thought, I heard such good things, I thought I'll give it a go. It's so good. It is so good. It is so fucked up, man. And not because of the race stuff. The race stuff, I'm almost like, I don't even know. It's there, and it's proper tense, and it's proper exciting in places. But the tension, and you're sitting there going, what the hell is going on here? What are those creatures? What is that? What is going on? I've done 3 episodes, and I am in like Flynn. It is so, the performances are fantastic. I'm all over it. It's so weird. And there's this bit where he walks into this room. The main guy's a bit of a prisoner, and he walks to this room, and there's just this screaming. And you just think, what's going on? This guy's screaming and someone's cutting stuff out of him, like pulling out bits of his spleen or whatever, and cutting it. And then later on, there's a meeting of this lodge. And the guy goes, we have all made sacrifices. And I too have made a sacrifice. And so likewise, I give of myself to you. And then like the servants come round with dinner plates. Yeah, it's got bits of his raw spleen on it. And I'm like, this shit is messed up, man.
I think I'd rather just a bargain bucket of KFC, man.
Well, right. I can't. It's so well done. The music is great. It's filmed well. The way they build the tension and the mystery and the horror is great. I was just like, I'm loving this show.
So, do you think because I was the same, for the same reasons that you said at the beginning. I was just like, I can't do it at the moment. Do you know what I mean? It's just been such a tough year for varying, for everything. So I can't take another show like that, And I watched Watchmen, which I really enjoyed, but it was really heavy going. Do you know what I mean?
It's, the theme is heavy. I mean, come on. It's like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? To begin with, you're starting in a heavy place. I almost, because of the overarching theme of it almost didn't click to me.
Okay.
You just go, these people are just, basically you just see horrible people and not horrible people. And the fact that they're white people coming after black people almost didn't matter because you just assumed they were horrible. But because it was cushioned by the bigger mystery, it all fit together really well. So you were getting that heaviness without it being heavy. And the import of it is not lost on you at all. But it was much more easy to plug it. I don't think it didn't add to the weight on my shoulders. That's probably the best way to put it.
Also, someone said, I think it was Stace, said, was it Stace? It was. She said to me there was an episode, and I don't know if it was episode 3 or 5, where she just said, I would have loved it. She said it's full on like Indiana Jones shit. And she said you would have loved it.
So Phil just said, and he's spot on, he said the first ep takes a long time to get to the horror part, but when it does, it's like so good, so good. I love it. I love it. Lovecraft country.
So I've been watching The Boys, The Boys season 2. You've not watched any of The Boys, have you, Monts?
Yeah, I've watched all of season 1. I haven't started.
Oh yeah, because yeah. So I was a bit like you in that it took me ages to get around to watching the first season of The Boys. And I think I watched the first episode and I was like, and then I went back and watched it all in one go and loved it. And the second season has been dropping weekly. So correct me if I'm wrong, it's finished now, isn't it? So 8 episodes. I think I'm on the last episode now.
Can I just interject to say I'm so happy that the days of like 22, 23, 24 episodes are done.
I know. Well, and
I haven't got the space for
regardless, it. If someone like recommends me a show now and it's an older show and it's like 22 episodes, I'm like, I don't care how good it is. It's not getting watched. So a lot of people watch it weekly. Whereas I've obviously been able to watch it pretty much in one go over like the last sort of week or so, and I've got to say I've really, really been enjoying it. And a lot of people said the first 2 episodes were a bit slow, a bit meandering, and I don't know if it's because I had other episodes lined up to move on to. I didn't really find them a drag for me. I just thought it's just setting the scene, as it were. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil anything, but I've got to say, in all my years on this earth, I don't think I've ever seen a more unlikable person on a show. There's a character, and you'll know who I'm talking about when you start watching the show once.
So it's not a character that was in season 1?
No.
Okay.
No. All I'll say is it's a she. That's all I'll say. And don't look at Mark's screen because that's a spoiler. Don't look at the screen. But yeah, the most unlikable character. And the reason why she's so unlikable is because I've known people like her and the way they operate. I know people like her, the way they operate. Not blatant in your face, but just the little touches, the way they say things, you know the score. Yeah. Guarantee you won't like her. Horrible, okay. Horrible.
I'm currently having dilemmas over what to watch next because I look at it and there's so much I want to watch. Umbrella Academy, Doom Patrol. I love Doom Patrol because it's so weird. There's no superhero show like it. The Boys. I don't know where to go next.
And anyway, we got to clear the decks because second season of his Dark Materials starts next month.
Oh my word! It's too much. I can't. Listen. 2021, no one's been able to make stuff this year. Please, can everyone just stop creating for 1 year? Just 1 year, stop creating. Give me a chance to catch up.
So, sorry. I just want to pick something up from Phil. So, Phil, in the comics, it was a bloke, not a woman. Okay. Yeah, much better decision. Because this is going back to The Boys. But so with the comics, like I said, I think I read the first. No, it wasn't the first volume. That would have been too much. Yeah, no, I think I read maybe 2, 3, and I just thought it's too much. It's just too much for me.
Yeah, it's too extreme.
And on saying that, there's some stuff that happens. There's something happens in the second season to the brother, the mother's milk, and can't unsee.
All right.
You can't unsee that. And I didn't even realize what was going on at first. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh my Jesus Christ, no. Just no.
All right. No, say no more.
Yeah. So anyway, it's Boys season 2 has been cracking.
Don't eat whilst watching episode 6. All right. Okay. I finished watching something, and I just want to. And the only reason I'm going to talk about it is because I'm really interested in what you were saying about it before. So I have been really, really, really loving on Prime Man in the High Castle.
Ah, okay.
So was it three? I think it was 3 seasons. You said you didn't like the third season. I
Yeah.
enjoyed the third season. I feel like it kind of slowed down a little bit. It wasn't too sure where it's going. And then in the last few episodes, it suddenly sped right up. And then the ending was a bit like, what? What? Just, what? What's happening?
So
What kind of nonsense is happening? And I
you
was like,
basically summed it. Go on, you finish.
I just thought that was a really. The first 2 seasons I loved. The third season I really enjoyed. But the pacing just seemed a bit weird, and the ending was just didn't make sense.
So I did not like the third season. You pretty much summed up my feelings on the third season, and my what I have to go with is that classic. It's it's not the destination, it's the journey. Do you know what I mean? So when I think back to the Man in the High Castle, I think overall it's a fantastic idea, really well executed in a time where there weren't a lot of shows. Now you turn around, you're tripping over genre shows. Do you know what I mean? But I think it was such a interesting concept, and it was done so well, and it had it almost had a bit of a pulp vibe as it went on as well. But I just felt they just didn't stick the landing, and that last episode, I had to go online afterwards. That, to me, if I've got to go online to try and figure something out, you've lost me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because I kind of was like, what? And I actually sat through that. I thought maybe that's not it. Maybe there's going to be another episode or something. Maybe I've missed something. No, that's it. What? And what I get really annoyed about sometimes is where people use that line. Normally, showrunners go, "Well, it's open to interpretation," or you could just tell me what the fuck is going on. Because I've invested in you from the beginning. Give me an ending. Do you know what I mean? It's.
I suppose I think and I'm less. I'm less happy with endings like that because I felt I got burnt with Lost.
That's what this was.
The worst thing being, at least, see, I think these guys think they know what they were doing, whereas Lost, they blatantly admitted years after that they didn't really know where they were going, and I was like, I think it's insulting.
But I don't even mind that. I don't mind people making shit up as they go along, so long as it's good shit. Do you know what I mean? There's plenty of. I'm sure we'll look back and there's plenty of shows where they'll turn around and go, we didn't know what we were doing, and it's not bothered us. And it's one of the things that I always get really annoyed about. And I know there's Supernatural fans out there. I am a Supernatural fan, kind of now. And they had a 5-season arc for that show, right? And that 5-season arc was brilliant.
Didn't put absolutely the whole
brilliant.
Way.
And I remember watching the last episode, and it was the guy and he was like the kind of narrator guy. He was like the writer. And but he's not supposed to be a prophet, and he was kind of he did this whole thing in the last episode talking about how endings were hard and blah blah blah, and it just rounded it up so perfectly for me. Even though it left a little thing hanging, it didn't bother me.
Well, that's why.
And now they're on season 200 now.
Well, that's why I decided not to go back after that because in my mind it had finished perfectly.
I went back to it. I've watched some of the other seasons and stuff, and it's okay with the occasional great episode, but it's just diminishing response. It's diminishing returns for me because you had that, you stuck the landing. Do you know what I mean? You stuck the landing. It's like, let's send it up again. Whereas I think with Man in the High Castle, it was a great show, but it just didn't stick the landing. I'd still say to people, watch it. I would still recommend the show. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't let I'm not a Battlestar Galactica guy who's like, the ending of Battlestar Galactica was rubbish. Therefore,
I feel like I'm the minority of people that enjoyed the last episode. Good work, Mark. Good work.
I did. But regardless, even if you thought it was rubbish, the quality of that show, do you know what I mean, stands the test of time. Whether or not you believed it stuck a landing, that's just me. And then really quickly, I have finished reading the latest Dresden Files book.
What number is that? Number like 73 or
I
something?
don't know the numbers. Don't ask me numbers.
I'm going to have to look that up.
It's Battleground. Or as I like to call it, Harry Dresden does Avengers Endgame.
Really?
Yeah. It was great. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was.
That's book 17.
Yeah.
Is he done now?
No, apparently, I when you read, well, I listen to his ones on audio because they're written in first person. And I've said this before.
He's been writing them for 20 years.
Yeah.
The first one came out 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's got nothing, man. I've been writing since I was 11. I've got 2 books. Yeah. Yeah, Butcher, take that. Take that, man.
I guess you showed him.
Yeah. I mean, technically, I've got 3 books and a half, but yeah. Anyway,
hey, I've got Paladin on my shelf reading right now.
Yeah, it's not aged as well. Anyway, different story.
Hasn't, but I'm still enjoying it.
Story. Yeah. So, what was I saying? What were we talking about? Yes,
Battleground.
Yeah,
Harry Dresden does Endgame.
Yeah. So, because it's written in first person books, I do audio because I just think that it works better for me. And the way James Masters does it, and I keep saying it again and again and again, it's just brilliant. It's just, if you love them old Sam Spade, Maltese Falcon style film where you've got the guy narrating, the detective narrating, it's that sort of vibe. And the way he does it, I think a lot of audiobook narrators should take note, because as the book goes on, because effectively it's one long battle. That's pretty much what the book is. And it's just, it's like BPRD mods. It's just people putting it on the line every chapter. But the main character, Harry Dresden, for the stuff that he's going through, he's getting progressively tired and beaten, and just, He
started off pretty tired and beaten.
But James Masters reflects it in his narration. So it will be like chapter 20, and it's just beat. It's just beat as it goes on. It's really nice. Okay. It's really, really well done. It's really well done, and I'd recommend that if anyone wanted to check it out and liked audiobooks, to get the audio versions.
Well, I'm just looking in Wikipedia here. It goes, while the cover art of each book portrays Dresden wearing a hat, in the novels themselves he never does.
That's a good point.
This has become an in-joke between the author, the publisher, and the artist.
Yeah. And also, whenever I look at the covers, that's just not how I imagine Harry Dresden to look.
So Phil said, did we ever see the Dresden Files TV show? And I did see the Dresden Files.
Did.
And Harry Dresden was played by, what's his name, who plays...
From Arrow.
From Arrow, who the police guy, Canary's father.
Yeah, Captain Lance.
I remember it wasn't brilliant, but I did enjoy it, if that means anything.
I think, do you know what it is? I think...
I didn't know they were doing Ready Player 2. Sorry, I'll come back to that.
Yeah, no, I think back in the day... And I think if you go way back in the day to 80s, like when we were kids and stuff, we were just grateful to see stuff. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We were just grateful. I think now, because there's so much genre
stuff. That's why
we
watched 10 years of Smallville, because there was nothing else.
But it's true. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I think now, the bar is set so high with genre shows.
Are you ready for my pulp narration?
You're just gonna keep interrupting me as I'm talking.
Sorry, go on. I'll sit back. You
can I finish what I said?
Yeah.
I now I've completely lost my train of thought. Do you know what I mean? What was I saying?
Smallville.
No.
You said back in the day we were just grateful.
Yeah, we were just grateful, and I think the thing with like the Dresden Files TV show was, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it, but I think if you showed me it now, I would probably go, oof.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Compared to what we got now, but they're doing it. They're rebooting it. I think I'm sure Stephen was telling me.
Are you serious? They're rebooting Smallville. Why?
No.
What?
The other one, the Dresden Files, you twat.
Oh, are they?
Jeez, this is what happens when you have your own internal monologue with yourself.
I have to admit, I did have my own internal monologue going on.
Right. Yeah.
We were fairly surplus to requirements in my head for a little while then.
And we're way over time now.
Can I just do my pulp narration?
Go on then.
I went to my office. My office was on the 13th floor. The lift only went to the 12th, but that's another story.
What accent was that? Scottish?
It's pseudo-American. I noticed my door was ajar of strawberry jam. It looked like a sticky situation. Me and the moose headed downtown. We got picked up by the police. Sergeant O'Grady started grilling the moose. I just had sausages. I hate grilled moose.
I'm sorry, Dave. Sorry, Dave. I can't hear you.
I can't believe you muted.
What? You're going to have to speak up, mate. I'm sorry. I can't hear you, mate.
What
sorry.
is wrong with you?
I just need to remind you that, who has the power.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. I've got one more thing. Do you want it or not?
Yeah,
Have we got time for it?
Yes.
TV or comic?
Comic. We haven't done any comics.
So on my shelf, I found these Ex Machina from Wildstorm, just a bunch of them, and I can't remember what year they came out, but it was a while back. And I had 6 of them on the shelf, and I looked at it and I went, I'm sure I've only read like 2 of them, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I went on Comixology and there's 10 trades in all, so I picked up the last 4. To have a read. So it's about...
How much were they on Comixology?
I don't know. I can't remember because it's actually a while back I got them.
Oh, okay.
But you could get the last 2. So there's 10 trades and there was 5 like omnibuses, and I kind of got the last 2 in omnibuses. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it is about this civil engineer in New York who's called to investigate some machinery they found in the water, and there's an ex-special forces guy who now works for the kind of on the river, police river, whatever, takes him to see it, and it blows up in his face and implants some circuitry in his head and gives him the ability to talk to and listen to machinery. And with his old friend Kremlin, who, funnily enough, is a Russian guy, they build a jetpack and stuff, and he becomes the Great Machine and tries to become a superhero. And his superhero career is really quite shockingly bad. And he makes more mistakes than he does, does more bad than he does good, until 9/11, where he uses his powers to bring down one of the planes, so he saves one of the towers. So it was really timely, because I think it was right after, it wasn't very long after it happened, it was written. And so it happens in parallel timelines. So you get his story now because he decided to give up the superheroics and run for mayor of New York, which he gets. So you've got his life as mayor side by side with his life as the Great Machine. Now, all the way through it, there's things starting to hint at why he got these powers and what they're all about. And he's just such an idiot. And he just ignores anything important. But then as it gets nearer the end of the series, it all ramps up. And it's really interesting. It's almost like a poor man's West Wing meets superheroics, because there's a lot of political stuff going on and you see a lot of negotiations going on, but with superheroics, and then with the greater plot happening very, very, very slowly and building up. And you get to the end and you see how everything was intertwined. And it's Brian K. Vaughan writing, so it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And it's such great storytelling. And I got to it, and you always enjoy it because his name's Mitchell Hundred, which is a great name. And he's a good guy. He doesn't quite get it right a lot of the time, but he's a good guy and you're always behind him. And as it goes on, it kind of takes his toll. And you suddenly, as you get towards the end, you're going, do you know what? I'm not enjoying him. I'm still enjoying the storytelling, but I'm not enjoying him as a person as much. He's kind of changing. And you get right to the end. And at the end of it, I was almost like, oh dear Lord, not because it was bad, it was brilliant, but the ending just made me go, wow, what is happening? It's just horrific. You're right there, Phil. It's fantastic read. It's so well written, and Brian K. Vaughan and Tony Harris, who did the art. And I remember I met Tony Harris a few years back, and I remember saying to him, what I really loved about your art is that you're the first person I've seen who's drawn dreadlocks correctly. But the work they do is fantastic, and there's actually an issue in which they make an appearance, and it is brilliant. It is brilliant.
Now, I've read.
Yes, sorry. Phil is right. Phil's. Oh, you're going to say what Phil's just said?
I don't know because you've just interrupted me for like the 1500th time.
It's all right. It's lockdown. Being with my wife, she interrupts me all the time.
No. Actually, I wasn't going to say what Phil was going to say.
Okay, so just pick up on that. It is being adapted for a screen, for a TV show. I think it's TV. And Mayor Mitchell 100 is going to be played by Oscar Isaac, Winter Soldier. No, what am I talking about? Winter Soldier. Sorry, I'm mixing him up with someone else. He's by, what's his name? Poe Dameron.
Oscar Isaac?
Yeah. Poe Dameron, sorry. Sebastian. So no.
You know what? I'm done.
No, only because because I was looking him up earlier because he's going out with someone that I fancy on another show. Where's he gone? Come back. So I've got the power now.
I need to take a moment then.
Yeah. No, sorry, my mistake. Yeah, Oscar Isaac, and I think he might be quite a good. I think
He's a good actor.
Quite a good. Yeah, I think he's quite a good fit for the part.
No, what I was going to say is I read the first 2 Ex Machina trades way back in the day, so I vaguely remember it, and I remember loving the art for it, but for some reason it just went off the bot. I think I was reading other things and I'd kind of forgotten about it, and I think because it was like a long running series, I thought maybe when it finishes I'll come back to it, and I remember I did that with Why the Last Man because I couldn't keep up with the single issues and delays and stuff like that, and then I ended up getting all of Why the Last Man and literally blitzing it and really enjoying it. So this sounds to me like I'll probably be something I want to do with this as well then, because I like Brian K. Vaughan as well. I like his stuff. Yeah,
no, it's fantastic. No, I've got no worries recommending that to anyone and everyone. It's good to have you. Mark's heading out. It's good to have you, Mark.
Good to have you, Mark. Take it easy. I really, really quickly just want to say it's a news item, but I'll quickly say it here, and then we will round up because Dave and I are actually trying to be better at timekeeping, and we're already 26 minutes over. Have you seen the teaser for they're doing Invincible?
Yes.
So this was the comic, the comic saga by Robert Kirkman, who did the art, and the letters, because I feel like the letters never get love.
It's true.
So was it Ryan Otley that did the art?
Yes. Corey Walker.
Letters?
It says, created by Robert Kirkman and artist Corey Walker, illustrated by Ryan Otley.
Russ Wooten.
I was like, why is it not giving me anything? Comics. Don't give me the TV show, give me the comics.
That's always the problem I find when something does get adapted. It then gets harder to find the source.
Yeah.
And then they start reprinting things with the TV covers and stuff. That always annoys me. I don't like that. Okay, Walker was the original artist. Yeah, I didn't finish all of it. Is Invincible still going? Is it completely finished?
No, I think it finished, but I
read a lot of it.
I read a lot of it, and I got to the bit where it was pretty like, wow. It was like, I remember putting down a comic and going, holy shit. And I never went back to it after that.
Yeah, and I don't want to say in case people haven't read it, but I got past the first big twist, which I won't say anything more. What I find annoying is when you actually read the blurb for the TV show, it pretty much tells you. If you don't have to be a genius to figure it out.
I know.
And I'm like, why would you do that?
Because when I was reading the comic, you didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming at all. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's pretty much spoiled it as far as I'm concerned a bit. But I do remember really enjoying the comic, and I'm glad they've done it as a animated. We need more animated. Oh God, we're really going to run over. I saw the latest. What's the latest Justice League cartoon?
Dark. Justice League Dark.
No, yeah, Justice League Dark, the Apocalypse War.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. That's
Pete
on
and
my
Phil-
list.
Pete and Phil, have you guys seen that? Okay. Man, shit was dark. I mean, I know it's called Justice League Dark, but I mean, it was dark. People got properly taken out.
Okay, I'm on. I got to get hold of that.
All I'll say, you'll never look at the Green Lantern Oath in the same way.
Did you? How did you watch it?
I got it on Prime. Whilst
Did you
I
have
was
to pay
away.
for it?
Yeah, I rented it.
Okay, I might get on that while I'm away.
It was really good, and I hadn't. It sounds really stupid, but I've been watching the sort of jail animated films, and I hadn't realised that actually there was a story, like an overarching story.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then when they mentioned some stuff, and I was like, oh yeah.
So but now you've got me in a place where I feel like I can't watch it unless I've gone back and watched all the other ones.
Have you watched any of them?
I might not have.
Okay.
That's
you certainly need to watch like the Justice League ones then, because basically it shows them all how they get formed and stuff like that as a team and whatever. But I hadn't seen they did the Death of Superman again and the Reign of Superman, and I hadn't seen that one. But then when I watched Apocalypse War, it kind of references stuff that happened in that. I mean, it still stands alone. You can still kind of watch it off its own back. Do you know what I mean?
Mm. There's a lot of Justice League movies.
Yeah, there are.
Justice League Doom, Gods and Monsters, The Flashpoint Paradox, Throne of Atlantis, War,
Yeah.
versus Teen Titans, versus the Fatal Five. What? Have you watched them all?
No, but I've watched quite a few of them. The Teen Titans one, I think, is one which is a Judas Contract.
Yeah.
That was really good.
I think I read that back in the day.
Yeah.
So let us know if you think we were talking nonsense or if you wholeheartedly agree with us, and you can do it by dropping us a line at the geeks at geeksyndicate.co.uk, or you can find us on Facebook or Twitter or even Instagram, the gram of Insta. Don't forget to check the website geeksyndicate.co.uk. While you're there, check out all the other podcasts under our banner. So yeah, that's us, and until next time. You always do this. Go on.
No, because you forget. And remember, you can buy us a coffee, virtual coffee via Kofi Annan. Not to be confused with the head of the UN, Kofi Annan. What up, Kof? Yeah, you can get us one of those. I'm rubbish at doing that stuff. You know the score. Links are in the show notes. And 2, just remember, your best friend could be a Skrull.
Yeah. Stranger things have happened at sea.
So, as Sean Taylor used to say back in the day in Police 5, keep them peeled.
He did. Oh my god.
Yeah, going old school. Boom. Boom.
And Peter says, don't forget, you can also contribute on Patreon.
Yeah.
He just said Patreon.
You just do the next episode, man. I'll just duck out because I'm shit. I'm working on the basis actually that we've had everything this year thrown at us. That a Skrull invasion in December, Skrull Christmas invasion, calling it now.
Yeah, well, I'm going to Pete's house because what I discovered about Pete this week was he used to play American football. He's got his rebel helmet. See, he's ready. Yeah. Anyway.
Right. I'm going to bed.
Until next time, Geek Syndicate, we out.